Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. First call, potential AFC destinations for Myles Garrett, reinvestigating the idea of Cooper Kupp to the Steelers. Tuesday's first call reinvestigates the idea of Cooper Kupp coming to Pittsburgh. We have some possible trade destinations for Myles Garrett. A veteran Steeler has high praise for a rookie offensive lineman. Out of sight, out of mind. When Myles Garrett made his trade request Monday, the NFL media immediately went into speculation mode as to where the NFL Defensive Player of the Year may go. Keep in mind that just last week, Cleveland general manager Andrew Berry said that he envisions Garrett being in Cleveland his whole career. But that's not stopping anyone from wondering where Garrett may end up if his trade request is eventually honored. NFL.com quickly put up a list of 9 potential destinations. Predictably, 7 of the cities were across conference lines in the NFC: Detroit, Washington, Chicago, Green Bay, Arizona, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. Can you imagine Garrett being added to that Philly defensive front? Yeesh. The only 2 places listed in the AFC that writer Eric Edholm suggested might be worthy of conversation were the Los Angeles Chargers and New England Patriots. New England makes sense. They are completely rebuilding, could use a defensive cornerstone for some star power, and wouldn't be an immediate conference threat for the next few years. As for the Chargers, who made the playoffs this year at 11-6, Edholm says, Joey Bosa had an injury-plagued season and could be a cut candidate this offseason. Khalil Mack still played at a high level but is headed for free agency and will turn 34 this month. Trading for Garrett would allow the Bolts to move on from both players if desired, giving coordinator Jesse Minter another weapon up front and making the defense younger in that area too. Even if we assume Mack isn't back in this scenario, an edge combo of Garrett and Tuli Tuipulotu would work pretty well in the rough-and-tumble AFC West. That makes a lot of sense actually. It just depends on how much Jim Harbaugh and company would be willing to part with in terms of compensation. What's up with Kupp? While Garrett's trade request got most of the NFL's media attention Monday, there was another news item that may interest Steelers fans. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp revealed on social media that the Los Angeles Rams are seeking to trade him and will be working with him to find a suitable destination to continue his career. I was informed that the team will be seeking a trade immediately and will be working with me and my family to find the right place to continue competing for championships. I don't agree with the decision and always believed it was going to begin and end in LA. There was some belief that Kupp may be traded during the regular season. The Steelers reportedly inquired about his availability in advance of the trade deadline. They ended up getting Mike Williams instead, and Kupp remained with the Rams. Kupp has been injury-plagued since his 2021 All-Pro campaign. He has had multiple ankle and hamstring injuries, playing only 9 games in 2022 and just 12 games each of the past 2 years. Those injuries and the ascent of Puka Nacua have resulted in a significant dip in Kupp's production. The 31-year-old averaged 1,360.6 yards per season between 2019-21. Over the past 3 seasons, he has averaged just 753 yards. Kupp totaled 29 touchdowns between 19-21. From 22-24, he only totaled 17. Via OvertHecap.com, Kupp would be owed $20 million total in salary and roster bonuses in 2025. But just $5 million is guaranteed. In 2026, he is slated to earn $19.85 million with nothing guaranteed. If the Rams are truly motivated to move Kupp, the Steelers should circle back and see what that might cost. If the Steelers trade George Pickens, as I hope they do, Kupp, Calvin Austin, a day 1 or day 2 draft pick and a Roman Wilson would at least be a decent start to a rebuilt wide receivers room for 2025. Steelers land sneaky elite plunder in latest 3-round NFL mock draft. The Steelers made their interests clear during Senior Bowl week. As Pittsburgh's brass arrived in Mobile, head coach Mike Tomlin, general manager Omar Khan, and defensive coordinator Teryl Austin quickly made their way to the defensive line group, and that's pretty much where they remained for the week. This doesn't mean Pittsburgh will go in this direction with their top pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. This team has no shortage of needs. Art Rooney too admitted that stopping the run will be a priority, but wide receiver remains a serious issue that will need to be addressed, especially if George Pickens isn't fitting with the program. Fortunately, the board could fall Pittsburgh's way this year, based on their biggest needs. In my latest 3-round Steelers mock draft, the front office revives a stagnant offense as Pittsburgh lands a polarizing defensive lineman on day 2. In 2024, George Pickens proved he's a player you can't rely on from game to game, even if his flashes are elite. Next to him, we knew WR2 was going to be the Achilles heel of this team, and it was. Van Jefferson was despicable, while Mike Williams didn't come close to living up to expectations in a last-ditch effort to improve the position before the deadline. But help is on the way. If you haven't watched Matthew Golden tape yet, you don't know what you're missing. Golden is an extremely natural wide receiver with a terrific feel for the game and outstanding ball skills. It's as if the Steelers were given another chance to land Jordan Addison in the NFL Draft. Golden is polished enough to be the team's go-to wide receiver from his rookie season. His ability to get open and win consistently at the catch point makes him one of the most underrated players in this year's draft. Steelers mock draft round 2, Caleb Johnson, RB, Iowa. We are getting set for free agency, and it's possible the Steelers could have an entirely new running back room in 2024. Najee Harris posted his 4th straight 1,000-yard season, but Pittsburgh isn't going to bring back a running back who averages 3.9 yards per carry on an expensive deal. All-Pro wide receiver Cooper Kupp becomes available via trade for Steelers to pursue, as has been the case for the last calendar year. The Pittsburgh Steelers need help at wide receiver. They did nothing to replenish the loss of Deontay Johnson last offseason, and did nothing with Mike Williams after acquiring him at the trade deadline. If they want to make it back to the playoffs and make any sort of noise next January, they can't make that same mistake twice, and it just so happens an All-Pro receiver has become available. Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp announced on X that the Rams informed him they will be seeking trade partners immediately for the star wideout, a move the Steelers should absolutely make. Kupp has transitioned into a WR2 role with the Rams over the last 2 seasons, as Puka Nacua has emerged as one of the top pass catchers in the league. And while he may not be at the level he was in 2021 when he won the Triple Crown, leading the NFL in catches, yards, and touchdowns, he is still a productive target that would slide right into a starting role with the Steelers and complement George Pickens very well. He'll be 32 when the season starts, so it wouldn't take a premium draft pick to land the Super Bowl 56 MVP. The Steelers have 3 7th-round picks in the 2025 NFL Draft. Sending one of those paired with a 5th-round pick would be a fair price on both ends to get the job done. And are you a fan? What do you think of Cooper Kupp's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.